and we're live again. Good morning world, good morning Pilates people. It is Monday and the journey into and continuing of our lockdown, our captivated lives, captive in more ways than we'd probably choose. So let me know if you're in the room. I'm here this morning and good morning Kay. It's going to be a Pilates session that's slow motion. I've done a little bit of a looking around at stuff, and I think a benefit for us would be what I've put together, which is called Restoring Balance or Restorative Pilates Balance, whatever you want to see it as. The aim of this session is not to be frenetic and frantic. Good morning Mena and Susan, but to be adding the breath and holding shapes. So don't rush off into everything. When I do the actual Pilates session today, you're going to have to dig deep for your breathing and certain positions being held. Good morning, Diane and Ken. We're all here, aren't we? Goodness knows what week it is, but we're back again. Hello, Jane. So today we will be looking at holding shapes, which is a little bit of what's known as an isometric connection. You'll be holding shapes and breathing into them, trying to find a sense of separating out your bones, that feeling of openness and closure and contraction. Morning Sonia, lovely to see you here in the live moment. Some people, I realise, because you're working, you can't make it to the live, but you do it in your own time, at the right time, when you have space. And so it's lovely to see people in the live moment who aren't normally here. Good morning Donna. Ready for a day of breathing and a day of, the weather looks pretty kind of dull out there, but we're here. And it's the same time, it's the same space, but it's a different type of routine. Definite Pilates, and definitely all about you trying to find a core connection that will hopefully then lead you to more balance and mobility. Good morning, me and balance, there's a challenge. Fortunately, Linda, it's the type of balance that actually is about balancing you out musculoskeletally, using your breath muscles, rather than standing on one leg looking as though you're the Karate Kid. Good morning, Janet. And we have teacher Janet watching us too. So it's live on a Monday morning, and it's a Monday where you can't almost believe it. I still find it really hard to believe that this is really what we're living and what we're doing. You may be pleased to know that last week I worked quite hard at getting the studio ready for an opening that could happen in July, the first week in July. Morning, Anne. So I'm putting loads of things in place, ready for a return to normality in the abnormal sense of social distancing in the studio. I have managed to get all the reformers 2 meters apart. I have managed to reconfigure everything so that if you abide by the rules, you won't come into touch with anyone in a socially distanced way that's inappropriate and unsafe. Good morning, Carol. I'll stop wittering on about the studio. But the studio, ultimately, first week in July, we have a plan, and that's all you can have, to open in a moderate way, putting into place all of the risk assessment necessary to make it safe. Okay, going back to this morning though, because there's no way we're open today. You're doing restorative Pilates. It's a lot of breathing and held positions. Now the rules go, if it's in your back, if it goes in your neck, if it's in places that you and I know it shouldn't be, then you simply come out of position and position that feels comfortable to you. Your start place will be in this workout on your hands and knees. Good morning, Margaret. So I'm going to wait a couple more moments just to try and get everyone in the room getting their connections. Your start place, there will be hands and knees. It's slightly different to stuff we've done. I would say when I'm looking at this, there are elements of the feeling of a yoga pose happening at different times. The down shape, for example, will be held. And in your brain, think about creating length and alignment. Refuse to brace, breathe whatever shape I'm holding, because you will be holding shapes. And the breathing will make that holding position beneficial and will help rebalance you and reshape you. Good morning, Margaret, as well. We have Margaret Brazendale and Margaret Leeds. Good to see you in the room too. We have some kneeling stuff going on. We start with kneeling, so make sure you feel comfortable. You will be moving on and off knees. Good morning, Michelle too. We're also going to be doing side lying, so if you want to get blocks ready for either lying on your back and side lying, that's fine. Again, don't launch off into your own little world. Try and go with my flow. It's a flow of restoring the balance with the breath, with the poses, and it should lead you on a journey that by the end of this moment, you feel different, you feel more open, more mobile. Morning, Lindsay. Great to see you're in the room too. I will get through what I can. I'm always limited by time. And the other thing is, increasingly I realise that I teach new stuff that I want to teach, and I observe what I'm teaching in your bodies and either detour or change direction or hammer on. But I have no one to watch. I have only my own sense of self and what I feel is appropriate for you. So I will carry on with this. Feel free to tell me what did and didn't work for you. And apart from that, I think we should get going. So find your place on the mat while I remove my spectacles. As I said a few moments ago, you will start in your hands and knees position. So go into kneeling, check where you are in alignment, get your head around the fact it's Monday and not very much has changed except the weather is no longer that baking hot weather. Reminding yourself that knees are directly under hips and knees are fist width apart. Your hands, your fingers are spread, and imagine your heart between your thumbs. On the inhaling and exhaling now, we've got just a very, very gentle rock back and forth. Some of the myofascial stuff we did way back in the day, for those that actually had sessions with me doing deliberate myofascial, this is reminiscent of that. Obviously I'm talking to you, therefore there's little chance for me to enjoy the breath doing this. If you can breathe deeply in and out, your spine shape is flat, neutral if you want to see it as that. It's neither dipped nor rounded. And your wrist is being warmed up. And as you push back and forth now, start to make it a tiny bit bigger. So there's a sliding and a gliding, isn't there? Your spine glides, your shoulder armpit area allows the glide, the does and the hip does. And you're inhaling and exhaling. The neck is staying long. You want to get the sense that your head is the top of the spine, and treat it as part of the. From this position here then, on the next breath out, bend your elbows and find that little bit of a child pose. Stay big breath in and pull yourself straight up and then rock back and forwards again for 3 times. That's 2 and 3. As you go into your child pose-ish position, bend your elbows, hinge at the hips. You can let the forehead go down, huge in here, and breathing out, pull the ground and slide back and forth again. And next time, if you're breathing, you'll enjoy this. Bend at the elbows, inhale, exhale, and back and forth. Now keep this slide and glide going. Tuck your toes under your feet and continue sliding and gliding. On 3, we're going to take ourselves up into your down dog. So 1 and 2 and 3, and I push the ground away and press my heels down. If you don't feel as though your feet are level with each other, do something about it. Now if you're really stiff, I want you to roll up and down through the ankle like you did 3 heel slides, and then the next time you're on tiptoes, flow the knees down, keep the back straight, and then go back to the rock. We go 3 and 2. Ready for it on the 1, pull your chin to your chest and then press your heels down. Inhaling and exhaling, either lifting and lowering for 3. Deliberate long breaths, chin to chest. Staying on your tiptoes, chin to chest. Bring the spine into all fours. And you're starting to create a better connection with the breath, the ground and your trunk. Are you ready to go up again? Up. Into your down dog. Keep your chin to your chest. Either roll up and down or just keep pushing through the heels with the breathing. Press the ground away. My hands are slipping. I'm sure yours will as well. Okay, and final sequence. As you lower those knees down, we're going to do 3 more slides into your down dog. And up you go. And down you stay with your heels down. Everyone stay down with the heels. Chin to chest. Breathe. And breathe. And breathe, and then pick up your heels, tiptoes and knee down. People, come off your hands and into a high kneeling position and put your left leg forwards. This is like a bit of a lunge, isn't it? You're going to do the same here. You're going to slide, so this is where the balance comes. You have to balance as you pull backwards and forwards. Obviously, if there's anything going on in the knee joint or if something feels untowards in your back or your hip, then modify the shape. Whichever way, it's like a moving lunge. Next time you come forward, you'll stay. Your foot, your hands are going to come here. Now it's the time for the back leg. Push down with the hands, big breath in. Exhale, push the leg up. Inhale, bend the knee and push. Go into your breathing. Press the ground away with your hands, your feet, both feet, that's the heel and the toes. Okay, 2 more. This is to stretch you out through the hips, ready for the workout. And the next time you go down, stay. Staying there, see if you can open your hip a bit more by pulling this knee joint forwards. And then take your hand and open, looking over the shoulder with the eye gaze, turning the head, stretching out through your hip. Breathe, nothing's in your lower back, you don't twist anything but except the the thoracic up to your chin. Breathe, 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 and turn. Here we go again. Are you ready? Now it's the chance for the front leg to push up. So now both legs are straight, your front foot is flat, your head is chin to chest, and breathe as deep as you can. If you want to press down and up with your back leg, without twisting your hips, you can. Whichever way, you're now in a hamstring stretch. We've gone from the hip stretch, which was the kneeling on the floor position, into the back of the thigh, hamstrings. Next time you're on tiptoes, bend your front leg, bend your back leg. Bring this hand here, take the leg back again, and up you are, ready for the other side. Find your balance. Your foot is flat at this point. Shrink the tum in, and then you're hinging with the front hip and opening through the back hip. As you come forwards and backwards, you understand how to core connect. So I'm not cueing the breath continuously. You need to breathe continuously, inhaling and exhaling, taking the body forwards by resisting twists with the left hip bone. Forwards to stay. Tuck your foot under, breathe. Put your hands to the floor. Now we lift the back leg up, so exhaling, press the ground away, inhale and bend the back leg. All the while, every breath out, pulls the navel to the spine, shrinks your abdomen from your clothing. And we go up and down. It's the last one. And down to stay. Are you ready? Bring your hand to the inside of your knee. So I've taken my right hand to the inside of my right ankle and I turn to the left. It's my shoulder that turns, my neck. Remember, your spine always turns following the eyes. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Shrink the tum in. And then you center again and pull yourself as far forwards as you can. Final stretch through your hips. Keep breath going. Keep the hair out of your face. My fringe is longer than it's ever been in about 20 years. All right, people, ready for your hands? So exhale, head down, shrink the tum, and push up. That front leg straightens. Find your form here. Keep as much symmetry as you can. And if you want to try and push your back heel down, you can, so long as your hips don't twist. My ankles aren't particularly flexible. I'm very strong and tight, but not flexible, so my heel doesn't go to the floor. Some people, like Lindsay, definitely will go to the floor with a heel, but your hips have to maintain true. So you've got your hand stretch here. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Push the ground away, and then bend your legs. Take this hand to the inside of the knee, and it elegantly gets you into all fours. Spin your body round. The body should now start to feel a little bit more mobile than it did. And we've started our week, haven't we? It's always a kind of, oh my word, it's Monday again. The merry-go-round is about to spin. Swallow and breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. Remember, it's a smiling breath out. So the inhale and the exhale, you're in through the nose and pull against your hamstrings and get the brace sense of assisting your seated upright position. Inhaling and exhaling. Your feet are flat, your thigh bones are parallel, and you know where your sit bones are. Grow tall. We've increasingly learned to sit better, I think, since doing mat work Pilates every day. So inhaling and exhaling, You're growing really tall, crown of the head reaching to the sky. On your next breath out then, we'll start the backwards roll. I told you it's going to be slow, and I mean it's going to be slow. I'm still holding onto my hamstrings. I'm breathing out, and I'm going to roll into a flexion, a lower back bend. I stay here knowing that I'm now on the back of my sit bones towards my sacrum. My feet are flat. Breathe deeply in and out. I'm going to say we'll do about 3 deep breaths in and out in each position we get to. I'm deliberately holding on so that I can keep a flexion of the rib cage. Okay, breathing in and out. Exhale now, don't hold on and don't drop, but reach your arms forward. So you've claimed the ground that you assisted yourself into. Think of your bones in your lower back to your neck, lengthened away from each other, the vertebral column, creating space while your breathing muscles hold your form. Now hold on to the back of the thighs again and walk your feet back towards a more bent knee, back towards your bottom in other words. Exhale and roll through the vertebral column. Stay. Breathe in and out. Keep your feet flat. If they don't go flat, maybe move them forwards again, but know that you did that. Inhaling and exhaling, and then arms. So now we go deeper to the pelvic floor, the bikini area. You reach your arms, and it's much easier to breathe than it is to talk, trust me. I'm going to hold on and keep talking. If your only way of keeping this shape is to hold on and keep your elbows bent, then that's what you do. One more shape. Exhale. Down we go a little bit more. If you can walk your heels backwards, do. Remember the rules. Your thigh bones are parallel. Breathing deeply in and out. Now the back of the waistband, your lumbar area. Inhaling and exhaling, the crown of the head to the ceiling. Your pelvic floor is drawing up. Your navel's drawing in. If it's in your back, you're going to lie on your back and keep your legs bent and breathe, just lengthening the spine. Okay, people, I'm going to take myself down one vertebra at a time, effortlessly finding myself lying on my back. Once you're lying on your back, at this point, you don't necessarily need a head pad, but you can get one primed and ready. Put your hands behind your head and stretch out your legs, one and then the other. You can interlace your fingers if you want, or don't make a huge fist. Just cradle the base of the skull. I personally like to put my thumbs near my ears and my fingers behind what we call the occipital bone, the ridge of the skull. Start breathing in and out just here. Make your legs strong and tensioned, but keep them to the floor. Breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. On your next breathing out moment, you'll curl, chin to chest, and you'll stay. Now my elbows are wide open. I'm breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. My legs are tight, tight, tight. Bring my toes to my nose. Inhaling and exhaling. Pulling my hip bones backwards, pubis to the ceiling. Deep, deep, deep abdominal work. Thighs are tensioned to feed up to the pelvis. Breathe. You should start to quiver. And then inhaling, lay the spine down. And exhaling, back up you go. Stay, breathe. Now reach your hands to the side of the thighs. You should feel a little bit more comfortable here. Inhaling and exhaling. Making your back breath go into the back of the rib cage, the back of the spine, the crown of your head to the ceiling. You're breathing in and out. You feel the abdominal switch on. Refuse to give up on the energized legs. And inhale back down. We have one more. Exhaling. Hands. Stay. Breathe. Exhaling. Hands to thighs. Keep the height. Breathe. Pull your pubis to the ceiling. Imprint your lower back. See if on each breath out, you could fractionally curb. Nose to knees. Can you hear me quivering? 2 more. And last one. And slide all the way back. Pull your heels under your knees. Not so far under your knees that they're next to your bottom. We'll bridge it now. Hip rolls into bridge. Put your hands by your sides. Think breath and rebalancing, restoring rather than kind of taking more from the body. Inhale to prepare, and breath out to imprint, pelvic floor navel to spine. Now push your knees forwards as your hips lift up. This is the next holding place. If when you got up here, the holding place gives you pain in your lumbar spine, then drop down a bit and find a different holding place. If indeed you're good, you can push your knees forwards and you feel the inner thighs pulling towards each other, then you're in a good holding place. Whichever way, the breathing in and out has to make sense of the pelvis getting an open hip area. In other words, I'm pulling my hip bones right back under the navel and keeping the heels pushing and my knees pressing forwards. The deeper the breath, you can now take your arms out sideways. Don't forget to pull the inner thighs together. Inner thighs are tight. You're inhaling and exhaling. Opposing the hip folding, which means we're stretching the quads, keeping the hamstrings working. You can relax your bum cheeks, they don't have to work. Remember, you can drop down a tad if you need to, but you can't feel stuff go into your lower spine. Now take your arms behind your head, so we're still in our bridge position, people. Keep your eye gaze straight ahead. Keep the chin from the chest, and the breathing is going deep, deep, deep pelvically. Exhale right the way from the pelvic area all the way through an open mouth. Inhaling through the nose to the back of the spine. Exhale, pull the inner thighs tight together. Last time. And now to come down, keep your arms where they have found themselves and come down one vertebra through the back of the rib cage. Breathe. Exhale another vertebra, back of the rib cage. Breathe. And another vertebra, back of your rib cage. Last couple of segments down. So they're challenging to make sure your mobilizers in a way it wouldn't have done had you not done that. Float your arms here, big breath in. Put the hands to the sides of your thighs and curl up with the breath out. Back to holding the sides of the thighs. Legs are bent, keep the heels under you. Now reach your arms, breathing in and breathing out. Inhaling and exhaling. Hard, isn't it? Keep it going. Crown of the head to the ceiling. Shrinking the abdominal area in. Inhaling and exhaling. Keep the breath. Spine can be in a gentle imprint. See if you can curl up a tad more, either by holding the pulling against the hamstring, back of your thigh. We're not asking you to sit up. We're asking for a bend of the rib cage spine. That's why we're doing what we're doing. Two more. One more. And now pull your right knee towards your chest. Send your left leg out and stay. This is your single leg stretch, and that's exactly what you're doing. Again, stay curled up. We're stretching the hip. Breathe in and out. You've got to use your abs even though it's more of a stretch. And the thigh, hip area, as long as you haven't twisted, you're keeping that leg reaching as though it could pull down. Now when I do this side, my leg's quite high up. The evidence of the lack of balance in my body is when I do the other side, so we're going to switch. Exhale. This leg happily goes to the floor. I'm not going to rest it on the floor. Your aim really has to be to keep symmetry. I take the effort of holding on to the single leg stretch, this leg here, by using my bent elbow, my oblique. My right leg is long and reaching. The muscles in that leg are strong and connected. And then 2 more breaths. Remember, it's a stretch. 1 more breath. Pull both knees into the chest and pop your head down. Put your arms by your sides. Have your legs straight up in the air. We're going to do a slight tick-tock. So both legs are tight together. And I've rolled onto the side of my hip. I breathe in. The legs don't slide against each other. I breathe out and I go back. So if it's a clock face, I'm at 12 o'clock here. As I go away, I'm going to 11 o'clock. I'm on the side of my hip. I'm on the, everything being absolutely parallel. So the hip bones don't separate out, and neither do the thighs. The breath out, over I go. And if you want to sort of look the other way, you're welcome to. You can't let your obliques give up. The movement pattern here is definitely core connect, breath out, so your oblique stabilizes you from rolling completely over. You'll feel the side waist working. If this shears into your back in any way, you've twisted, and you may try it with bent legs. We're just going to do once more each side. I'll show you with bent legs. So with bent legs, it's there. So you may need to have your legs bent if your hamstrings aren't particularly lengthened and stabilised obliquing. Okay, and the other side, breathe. Knees are level, pelvic position stays, no twist, just a rotation, and then find yourself back into the centre. Pull your feet back to the floor. Everything should feel level, but always have a look. Put your hands back under your head. We're going to do obliques as a held shape. So exhaling, curl over towards where you can see the screen, so whichever side that is first. Holding this position here, I've got one armpit towards the floor with my elbow touching the floor, so I've got my right hand side and my other elbow pointing in the direction here. Now if you're not sure, put your hand here. Breathe in and out and hold. Do not let the hips roll. This is where if I could see you all, I could cue you all better. Your right hand side elbow armpit is to the floor. Your left hand hip bone is definitely to the floor. And your breathing is the energize of the exercise. Shrink from rib cage to hip bones. If it's too intense with both hands behind the head, simply reach your other hand across the body to the outside of the knee as I'm demonstrating here. Breathing in and out. 3 more. Imagine you could curl up a tad more. 2 more. 1 more. And through the centre you go. Down you go. Exhale, up the other side. Settle everything in. Reach your hand to get yourself sorted. You've got one elbow to the floor. I'm on my left hand side. My pelvis is absolutely level. And my other elbow is either pointing or my left arm is reaching, right arm, sorry. Whichever way, my pelvis is square and I'm absolutely feeling the oblique area. Don't let this affect your shoulders. So if you have a shoulder niggle, make sure that the arm that's having to rotate the most is in a place of comfort. I'm on the left hand armpit, left hand base of scapula, and I'm sitting heavily through the back of both pelvic bones. I'm breathing and quivering. My obliques are totally active, and I'll let that go. From there, you may want to put your block back under your head, pull both knees up, and pull both knees in. We've got this version of breath and double leg stretch. Go back to breathing. Okay, you need to be sure that the back of the pelvis is completely flat to the floor. You are in a gentle imprint, there's no reason for you to be in anything else. Once again, you'll curl, your elbows bend and you curl up in the direction of your knees. Breathe in to just here, crown of the head to the ceiling. Breathe out and push your arms down as you send your legs away. Breathe in. Breathe out and pull it all back again. Inhale. Exhale. Slow motion, double leg stretch. Breathe in and pull it in. Breathe out. Imagine curling up every time you take your hands off your knees. Inhale and chin to chest. Inhale, strong legs. Pull in and strong. Inhale, pull in. If it's in your neck, then by all means, do it over 4 breaths. Roll down here and roll up there. Inhaling, pull in. Head down if you need to. Exhale. So the pulling in of both legs is to stretch your lumbar spine. The sending out of both legs is to stretch the hip. 1 more. Inhale and Inhale both legs in and place your feet down. Stretch those legs out again. Your legs now want to reach away and reach strongly, kind of energize through the quads. Take your arms behind your shoulders if you can, behind your head, or simply just happen to the ceiling. It really doesn't matter. We'll be doing progressive rolling up. This is where you'll end up doing a bit of a reach for your hands. Breathe in and float your arms to the ceiling. Breathe out, curl, reach for the back of the thigh and stay, just as we started. Breathe in, breathe out, and back down you go again. Inhale, exhale, stay, pull yourself up a tad more, breathe. Strong legs, and down you'll go again. Big breath in, strong legs, exhaling, stay as you curl up a tad more. So this is the place where your back may feel tight. Breathe, breathe, breathe. We're going to do one last one to take us all the way up. Huge inhale and exhale. Huge inhale, exhale, up you come and reach. We've been doing this all of last week. Your forwards bent, stretch forwards. Legs are strong, toes to nose or ceiling. The bend is the rib cage part of the spine. And sit yourself up. That wasn't so bad, was it? You're going to go straight on to hands and knees. So organise your space. The hands and knees position is to mobilise you a tad in a different way. Pull your right heel to your bottom. I've never taught this before, and I've only done it myself today. I've seen it. That thigh will rotate out and in. So I'm turning, screwing the bone, using my knee positioning. Now as I turn out to the side, turn your head and close the gap between the waist and the hip, and then go the other way. So the movement goes from armpit to hip as you rotate. The eye gaze takes you to the twist, so always turn the head in the direction you want to bend. It's a side bend. And pivoting, if you've never done this before, have a look. If this is just feeling strange but not horrible, then have a play. The movement should go to your outside of your bottom as you do this moment here and into your waist. And as you do the opposite, one side lengthens, one side shortens. Leave that alone, you've got two sides. It's great fun playing, isn't it? So you pull your heel to your bottom. First of all, turn and look at that outward phase. Turn and look for the inward phase. In your mind, it's like a dog trying to stick its tail, doesn't it? The dog often goes in one direction, usually the direction nearest. There, that moment there. If you keep your hands so that they're under your heart, rather than sliding back and forth, you're getting a good rotation. And all I can say, people, is if it doesn't feel good, even if you might not really understand what you're doing, then don't do it. Just go straight into cat-cow or whatever else makes you comfortable. Let that go. From that position there then, exhale, you're in your true or fours. Make sure nothing's changed in your alignment. And float your left arm off the floor, palm down, breathe. Breathing out, float your right leg, breathe and stay. Hold your form. You're in a straight spine, neutral spine shape. Your abdominals are working. Reach your arm now as though you could take your hand and your foot as far away from each other as possible. Now what I'm not asking you to do is suddenly bend your lumbar spine and completely distort the alignment of the trunk. I'm asking for breath and length. Your kneeling leg and your hand-armpit connection that are to the ground are keeping the ground where it is as you push against the ground and breathe and return back in. Ready for your other side. Big, big breath. Breath out. Place your arm. Now, your arm and shoulder will never be the same from one side to the next. Then send out the diagonal leg. And here we go. Do not let anything go into your lumbar spine. If it has, you've twisted or lifted. So either drop that leg down a tad. Whichever way, you can still reach. Breathing in and out. Lengthening from the armpit. Lengthen through your quads. Keep the trunk stability. The abdominal area will flatten, shrink and hollow as you create space between your bony joints. Breathe, breathe, and return back. Well done. Okay, from there, round your spine into cat and allow that stretch. Reaching your arms forwards into child's pose. Breathing deeply in and out. At which point, lay the posture down into the frontal position, okay? Legs want to be long and reaching without being too energized. So the legs don't want to rest and not have lots and lots of tension going on. The usual, ready for your swan stretch, modified swan, upper body stretch. Know where your breathing is. Remember, your nose is not on the floor. Your hands are largely under your shoulder area. Your elbows feel like your wings of a chicken, tucked in and trussed up. Breathing deeply in and out in this first shape of lying on your front. As your breath in and out, you're holding the head from dropping to the floor. You're already pulling your shoulder blades down the back and towards each other. Your legs feel lengthened, but you're not gripping and grabbing any muscle structure except pelvic floor. And the pubic bone is staying dominant. With your next breathing out, connect navel to spine. Then inhale, push the ground away. Look increasingly up the wall and take yourself wherever you can go. Pull your elbows down in your mind. Feel the tricep connect. Breathe, shoulders away from the neck. And as the breath out happens, bend the elbows and lower back down again. Inhale, up you go. No real force. And elbows. Exhale, down you go. Keeping the shoulder blades reaching for each other away from the neck. Inhale, the ground goes away. You use your upper back stabilization and your triceps. And exhale, down we go. Stay hovering. Keep the legs more active now, so lengthening them further away, you should start to feel some of the hamstring. Your pubic bone has to stay dominant as you breathe out and it's breast straight, arms lift up, shoulder blades are together, elbows are in. Turn the thumbs to the ceiling now. Inhale and lower those. Exhale, don't let the chest lift and lower. Up you go with your arms and down. Keep the breath. Keep the eye gaze just slightly forwards of the space beneath you. So you're looking just away from the downwards look. If you're at the end of the mat, you're looking beyond the mat. We're making your muscles in your upper back active. Keeping the legs active. I told you this would be intense and different. Try not to turn the head at this point. I turn to think of talking to you. 2 more. Inhaling. 1 more. And down you go. Put your arms by your side. We're going to take this straight into active dart with the upper body and the lower body going. So breath in, nose to hover. Exhale, shoulders, collarbones, and let the legs reach away and tight together. And then inhale, flowing out. Breathing out. Upper back axe, hands reach to the toes. Inhaling and down we go. Breath out, shrink. Get your upper back active. Inhale and down. You've got 5 more. Pull the inner thighs tight together. And 4 more. Remember, if it's not good in your lower back, something's wrong. I've just had to do a slight shift because the pelvis often has a kind of tendency to twist. 2 more. Shoulders, inner thigh work. And last time. Okay, and let that go. Right, onto your side. Where does time go? Another position where it's quite pleasant what I'm going to do with you. Some of the stuff that I would do if I had you present was teach the body how to properly mobilise so that when we do the more strenuous shapes of Pilates, we've got a better core connect. Anyway, for here, We did this Friday with Tom to some degree. There's a reach forwards, so I'm sliding, my hips stay still largely but not braced. I've slid forwards, my scapula. I'm then going to take my hand, I'm going to watch it. Your head can go and you go as far as the body allows. So I'm quite tight, big breath in and out. So as I stay here, I'm breathing in and out of the left-hand side of me because that's the side I'm lying on. On my next breath out, I'll come all the way. So we call it chalk circles or side lying open door. And I'm sliding forwards, forwards, forwards. There should be no pain anywhere, just the sense of reach. Huge inhale into the side you're lying. And as the breath out happens, roll and roll. Resist the hips moving if you can. Breathe. I've rolled all the way into the side of my left hand rib cage and I feel nothing in my lumbar. Take your arm up, big breath in, it's the last time. And exhale. Reach here, breathe. Okay, just two, that's all you're going to do. You're going to come back onto all fours. Take the hands under the chest, tuck the toes under the feet. Exhale to bend your ribs, shrink the tummy in, so it's that forwards bent position we have. And then you're going up and down. You've got this gentle knee float up and down. This is setting us up for something in a moment. Do 4 more. My chin is to the chest. I watch both knee joints lower sequentially, level with each other, and I get the real sense of my rib cage shrinking to my navel to my spine. Last time. And over you go to the other side of side lying. Settle the body down. Heels level. Hand under armpit. Head. Forgive me, I couldn't be more congested still with the pollen. So you know where you're headed. This is pleasant, isn't it? I just need to breathe. Breathe deeply in. And exhale. Let the posture reach. Remember, don't force anything, but do find breathing. Now into my right hand side because I'm lying on my right hand side. And the breath out, you'll float your arm up and you'll follow it to where it wants to go. It's as though you leave your hips behind you, okay, but you don't force anything. Breathe still into your right hand side, breathe out of your right hand side. And then exhaling, we come forwards, forwards, forwards again, breathe in, exhale, and the sense of reaching, rolling through the armpit, shoulder, into the right hand side of my ribs. I breathe, and then, remember you turn your head, simultaneously following it through the arm. Deep breath as you have this lovely open chest position. Hips are relatively stacked. And you use the abdominals to pull you back again into your final reach. And reach. And you're going to go for your final activity. I'm just going to face this way because it's easier to cue you. You go, I told you to remember this all fours position. In all fours then, same shape that you had a few moments ago. Tuck your toes under your knees. Maybe have your knees close together for this moment. Breathe out to pull your chin to your chest and round the ribcage part of the spine. Inhale, float the knees. And then exhale, lift the knee to you and back. So I'm bending the leg to me and returning it back. Single leg positioning. 4 more. 3 more, shoulders away from the neck. 2 more, and I'll place that leg down. Lower the knees down again. Breathe in, don't lose your form. Exhale again, ribs, navel, spine. Refuse to tuck your lower bottom, lower back. And you've got your other side. Press the ground away and pull. So as you pull the knee to you, you're not moving any part of the spine. Waking up the obliques, keeping the ground pushing away, keeping the heart connected to your breath. Last two, last one. Put your feet down and you're ready. Up into your down dog. So press the heels right down, head between your arms. Breathe deep as you can. Heels are flat. See if you can walk further back. Spread your toes. Have a slight bend at the knee to stop you locking at the knee. And then people, tuck your bottom under. Press your heels down and return the spine into your first standing position. Roll your shoulders, and that's all we have time for today. That should have been pleasant, maybe a tad different to what you're used to, I don't know. But whichever way, it was something that should have mobilised you, stabilised you, made you hot and made you think. I only got through half the stuff, so I'll probably do part two tomorrow, sorry. Thank you for watching and thank you for participating. Remember, feedback to me if there's stuff in it that you weren't sure about, if stuff didn't feel good for you. I will try and make sense of it by introducing other activities around whatever it was that didn't kind of work as you wanted it to. In the meanwhile, I would say to you, have a great week. I'm just going to get ready for Zoom because it's a totally different routine. And due to my asthma, I'm totally out of breath, which is not very appealing to me. Okay, people, have a great week. Well done for being yet another Monday morning group. We will see you all soon, if not on Zoom. Bye-bye.